Before I forget, though, coming back from like a more or less serious talk, um, when I came apartment hunting to Wayne, I met with my advisor, Dr. Pershnick, and we were talking like we always do, both informal and formal in terms of like what are you doing academically and what are you doing personally, and so there's that. But upon our conversation, he gave me a book, and this book is called Co-Intelligence, Living and Working with AI by Ethan Mollick. Looks like this. I have skimmed it and I have read some of it, majority of it. It's not that big of a book. I don't know how many pages, but it's not that big. And so, um, essentially, I was going to sit down at some point in my life. Oh, okay, that makes it sound like I was never. At some point earlier this week to read this. I haven't gotten the chance, but now I am. Because the cool thing is apparently for his class for composition theory, we have to pick a book. One that has to deal with composition theory, but primarily one that has to deal with whatever you're interested in. And obviously, I'm interested in AI. So since he gave me this book, now I have like a kill two birds with one stone type of situation where if I read it because I wanted to read it, and then B, because I have to do it for a class. So I decided to do a little change in scenery, and now I am in my dining room table, which is currently a mess. So there's so much stuff around, and the little that I have around me. But anyhow, I'm gonna start reading the Co-Intelligence, right? By Co-Intelligence, Living and Working with AI by Ethan Mollick. But before I start reading, I have literally no idea what this book is about. Dr. Prishnik was the one who gave it to me. So I'm just going to read what the website says. Something new entered our world in November 2022. The first general purpose AI that could pass for a human and do the kinds of creative, innovative, and work that only humans could do previously. Wharton professor Ethan Mollick immediately understood what ChatGPT meant. After millions of years on our own, humans had to develop a kind of co-intelligence that could augment or even replace human thinking. Through his writing, speaking, and teaching, Mollick has become one of the most prominent and provocative explainers of AI, focusing on the practical aspects of how these new tools for thought can transform our world. Honestly, just by reading that alone, that kind of goes on par with like what I believe my personality or my identity is in this whole PhD thing. So I'm assuming that this is gonna be good. So update, it is currently 7:30 p.m. and honestly, it was like a roller coaster. I was reading Ethan Mollick's Co-Intelligence. I got not even halfway through the book or whatever. But amongst me reading the book and just being here reading, I was falling asleep. Not because the book was boring, don't get me wrong. It's because I woke up super early and I'm an old man now and I require sleep. So far, so good in the sense of the book itself. But it's a lot of thinking about AI in a broad spectrum, I guess. So right now he's giving us the general history about AI in terms of like the when it started, how it started, molding it to think a certain way, molding it to talk a certain way, etc., and how it like became progressively smarter and smarter throughout the time it being alive, right? So I don't think I have gotten into the meat of the book per se. I think we're just getting in the basics. I don't know what you call it. And so I'm not even halfway through it, so I'm assuming nothing is going to happen as of yet. So I don't know. Hello, good morning. Today is Monday, September 29. It is currently 10:35
a.m. And if you're new here, my name is Manuel Gonzalez. I am a recent PhD student here in Detroit, Michigan's Wayne State University. I am in the English department, in the Rhetoric and Composition department, within the subgenre of science and technology with an emphasis in generative AI in post-secondary education. If you're new to the channel, this whole channel is a PhD, a week in the life with the PhD student type of scenario. And since we just recently started our PhD journey, we are both venturing it together. And if you're returning, welcome back. But with that being said, today is the start of the week, and we are on our way to Oakland Community College because we are going to give lecture in approximately an hour. But before that, I wanted to give note of what's going on and what's happening. And so here's the thing. So over the past couple of days, I've been kind of crashing out on everybody and myself because of the fact that I've been trying to look for my identity when it comes to the PhD journey. I don't really know what I'm going to be researching per se, and I know that I have a lot of time before we get to that point. I know that we can get to that point in like a year and a half from now or two, but still, it's kind of like I want to do it now type of adventure, so I can look into it and specify my ratings and whatever. And so there's that. At first, I was crashing out because I didn't think I had structure in finding my stuff, and it felt overwhelming. And I had all this information and endless rabbit holes. And then for a glimpse of a moment, I managed to find something that I personally believe that was organization and structure. And then right now, the way that I currently sound and feel is that. Um, it ain't looking too cash money. So I'm not crashing out yet, but I am feeling back to the overwhelmness. And so I'm going to be going to go teach. After that, I come immediately back home. So that's fine. And then I'm going to sit down and I'm going to scour through that list or that document. That document is 23 pages long or something like that, and I'm gonna supposedly keep adding to it by having conversations with ChatGPT and stuff like that. But in general, right now it's 23 pages that I need to go through and be like, no, we're not doing that, or and so there's that. In terms of academic and scholarly and all that other fun stuff, I had finished everything in terms of my classes and whatnot, so I feel like I'm pretty ahead of everything. Um, so that's good. So right now we're gonna drive. We're gonna see what's up, and we're gonna go teach.
So, update. It is currently 9:39 p.m. and today, honestly, if I'm not lying to anybody, it has been a pretty lazy day. So I ended up coming home and I did some tedious tasks when it came to being a teacher. And so I told my students I was gonna upload some documents that I had planned and done and etc. So I did that. I answered some emails. I kept my emails organized and blah blah. And so I was doing a lot of maintenance work and a lot of teacher stuff. And so that's fine and dandy on that aspect, but um I after all of that, I literally was sleepy, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go lay down because I don't feel like being on the computer." And then I ended up laying down, and I ended up falling asleep. So I think it's been an hour. I think it's been about 2 hours since I woke up, or give or take. And I realized that when I woke up, I was like, "Damn, I haven't even vlogged or done anything for the vlog in particular." And so this is me is just realizing that, I guess. I don't really know what I'm gonna do right now. Honestly, I don't really have. Which is I was gonna say I don't really have the motivation or the enthusiasm or anything to do anything, which is ironic or kind of weird because in the morning I woke up really happy, and I woke up hype. I was singing in the car, and I had all this energy, and I was popping off on the music I was listening to, and it was just I think I woke up in a good day, and then I don't know what happened that now I'm just I'm not in the mood for anything, and so I don't know. I don't know how to contextualize that. But I do feel tired. I just don't know if it's legitimate tired or if it's just me being lazy tired. But I'm going to count it as legitimate tired. So, one of two things: either I'm going to bed rot in my bed and call it a night, I'm going to read my book that I was technically supposed to be reading, or I'm gonna play with ChatGPT on my phone and call it a night. I'm not really sure, honestly. But yeah, kind of feels like this week is gonna be a boring week for the vlog. You won't see this for a while, but yeah, I guess I'll let you know what's up. So update, it's 11:11. Make a wish. Okay, so update 11:11. Uh, after I made that previous video, I like came to bed and I bed rotted on TikTok for like the longest time, and now I'm actually gonna read the book. I'm not gonna read for long. I'm probably gonna read for like an hour, give or take, and then call it a day or something. But I just wanted to give some sort of context. But yeah, so cue the time lapse, I guess. So, update, even though it's currently 1:21 a.m. and this is technically a new day, I just got done reading part of my session today. So, it made it kind of productive to be able to like read for 2 hours a day in order to get through my stuff, and it kind of does make sense. So, maybe I might keep that habit. But I ended up reading like about 100 pages, which is, I don't know if that's good in the context of 2 hours interval, but the chapters or the sections that I read were well, they weren't kind of interesting. They were interesting, and so just to give a little snippet of what the hell I just read, apparently the chapters that I read was talking about making AI like sentient. And so what that essentially means is like making it humanistic and having emotions and understanding those emotions and all that shebang. Then we go on to the topic of like talking about what is okay to um, like tally off, like what assignments or what tasks you can give like AI for them to do for you, and then what are the ones that you have to pay attention to. And so there was a lot of that. The person, Ethan Mollick, is a professor, and he talks about how he uses ChatGPT to autonomize some things, and so there's that. But he was talking about like you don't want to fully encompass that whole idea because of the fact that you just lose the quality or the depth of thinking and reasoning, which is obviously true. That's one of the things that I argue as well. You don't want to depend on AI. Like you don't want AI to write the stuff for you. You want to like coexist with it and work together, collaborate in order to create something. The defense that he was making, or the argument he was making, was talking about how the people who were using AI and like partnering with it or collaborating with it were essentially writing pieces of like work that were very well written, very well constructed, and it still shared that humanistic side of things. So that was like ideal, and I was like, holy hell, like this is something that I could use in my writing or in my whole thing. So he talked about like what it means to differentiate giving off your task and letting it take over. Um, and then essentially at the end of the whole thing is like, how do we understand how to encompass AI, or how do I use it on the day-to-day tasks that I say that I do? And so he literally did it on the book, on the chapter that he was talking about how to use it. He literally wrote the whole chapter as if he was writing with AI. And he talked about how he created 3 personalities or 3 AIs, each AI corresponding to a way that he wants that chapter to be edited on, or how it should be edited. And it shows like a step by step of like how he used them, how he processed them, etc., etc. And then he's like, well, this is how I use it, and this is what like you're currently reading. And this whole book is based in 2023, so this is when like I think barely ChatGPT 4 came out, but 3 was the predominant one. Now we're in 5, and possibly in the future we might be like in 6 or whatever. But the point being is like if it was that advanced back then obviously it's advanced now. So I'm really excited to continue reading, but it's currently almost 2 a.m. and I gotta go to bed because I gotta teach at Wayne State University, and so the problems of a scholarly person reading. Or not even a scholarly person. It's like the problem of just being into a book and having to go to bed because you have adult responsibilities. So, other than that, I guess I'll leave that thought there. And after tomorrow, we'll dive back in. So, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hello. So today is Tuesday, September 30th. It is currently 4:24 p.m. and I am out of all my adulting. I taught today at Wayne State University, and I went to my practicum class where they teach us how to teach that Wayne State class, I guess if you want to call it. And today was a very interesting day in both classes. First and foremost, in my class, we talked about incorporating concepts of argumentative stances into your paper and being able to analyze those concepts to make it sound like you know what you're talking about, for lack of a better word. And so there was that. On that note, though, and the practicum, today was a hot topic, and I was so tempted to record the conversation, but I had my main teacher, the teacher for the class right in front of me, that I didn't want him to call me out and be like, hey, what are you doing? And so I didn't record it, but it was a hot topic today because of the fact that he wanted to stir the pot and talk about whether or not we should incorporate AI into our classroom and what that means ethically, what that means for the teacher, what that means for the student. And boy, was it a subject. There was a lot of debate going on, and then as you know, or even if you don't know, I am for AI in every way, shape, and form. I believe that we should use it ethically, we should use it resourcefully, we should use it as a tool, we should use it as a co-writer to our stuff, and blah, blah, right? Especially because like AI is something that is gonna go and keep going in a very fast pace. And I also believe that if we don't adapt to it or mold ourselves to it, then it's just gonna eat us up to some extent. And so the argument was like, should we use it? Should we teach our kids to use it, et cetera, et cetera? And I kind of feel like it was a half and half. I think in that class, I'm trying to count. I think we're like 10 students in that class, and like half the class was like for it and half the class was against it. But the ones who were vocal about not being against it, boy, were they vocal. I had somebody else in the student side, be for it with me, and they were trying to make the argument that like, no, like this is how we should be using AI and this is how it's beneficial and blah, blah, da, da, da. And so it was fun. It was a fun debate, especially because the teacher was kind of with it too, which is ironic because I believe he's like an old school teacher that doesn't really do technology. And so the fact that he was like for it and the fact that he was like, oh, like, yeah, we should see it like this and see it like that was kind of wild to me. Good morning. Today is Wednesday, October 1st. It is currently 10:39 a.m. and I am on my way to Oakland Community College in Royal Oak so I can teach my class. Today I woke up kind of lively, kind of excited, just in general, but also because of the fact that all throughout TikTok, a couple days ago, it got announced that Benito Bad Bunny is going to be the halftime show at the Super Bowl. And if there's one thing that you're going to know about me is that I love it when people get riled up over the most what the hell things. And so I am getting both sides of the end of the stick when it comes to people loving the fact that Benito is going to be in the halftime show. And then I get the other side of the people that are like, oh my God, a Spanish speaking person is going to be at the halftime show. And it's just like, I don't know. It's like my Jerry Springer or whatever. With that being said, I am loving the plethora of videos that I'm getting of people who are going out of their way
to learn Spanish, maybe just for the music. That's fair. Maybe because they want to sing the lyrics of Benito, and that's fair in itself. But the fact that these people are going out of their way to learn Spanish or to look into Spanish or anything to do with Spanish is just chef's kiss. I am contemplating talking to my students today and being like, if anybody fluently learns one of Bad Bunny's songs and sings it in front of the class or to me, they get extra credit. I don't think they're gonna do it, but or if they record themselves and send it in, they are more than welcome to get the extra credit. That'd be funny and that'd be cool. I'm gonna try to see if I can record while I'm telling my kids that they need if they want extra credit, they have to sing Benito. But I guess we'll see how that goes. I like to live in chaos. Have you seen that like meme or that gif of like Elmo who's like this and then like in the background there's like nothing but fire? That's me. That's like, I love to see that. And so, first and foremost, if you have not known, Benito, which is Bad Bunny, has been officially named the halftime show for the Super Bowl this year. And boy, has that been stirring. It's been stirring the pot. If you don't know who Bad Bunny is, then I don't know what to tell you. And so Bad Bunny being in the halftime show and taking the majority of the thing is controversial, apparently. I don't know why. So first and foremost, my For You page on TikTok is half of it being like, oh my God, Benito, I love it, et cetera, et cetera. And the other half is like, oh my God, a Spanish-speaking person is gonna be doing the halftime show. And I just wanna say, first and foremost, cool. If you don't like Spanish, that's fine. But to not like Spanish and be ignorant about it is a whole different endeavor. First and foremost, Puerto Rico is part of the United States. Let's just get that clear. Second of all, he's Puerto Rican, not Mexican, technically. So technically, he's a US citizen. So what is happening, right? And so at that point, it's funny because a lot of people on TikTok are like, oh my God, I'm not having a Spanish speaker do the halftime show because football is American and football is the pride of this country and da-da-da. And then everybody is looking at the camera like, we do know that Puerto Rico is part of the United States, right? Like it's part of your people, I guess. And so this is hilarious. So update, it is currently 3:08 p.m. and boy has it been an adventure. Okay, so first and foremost, the fun stuff. So I ended up teaching my class, as you can see, and then I told them how my idea of an extra credit opportunity that I want them to end up singing a Bad Bunny song and encompassing their inner Latinx or Latino, Latina, Hispanic person. And I know that Bad Bunny is not Mexican, but he is Puerto Rican. And so I told them, I was like, oh, like, I want you guys to try to sing a Bad Bunny song in Spanish and et cetera, et cetera. Some of them laughed. Some of them were like, what the hell? And it was just funny. I showed them some TikTok videos of like people actually like trying to learn the songs and like struggling with it and et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, if you can send me a video like that of you actually trying to learn the song in Spanish and singing it and struggling or whatever you want to call it, I'll give you extra credit. But other than that, before I ended up like teaching my class, I was scheduled to have a meeting with an associate dean for a different university or a different college to get a job. I had previously applied for this college, but because they couldn't work with my schedule and my availability, I didn't get offered a job, and that's understandable and blah blah. But now they are offering me a job, so I ended up scheduling an interview for 2 o'clock, so like an hour ago, and I just had the interview. And long story short, I got hired, and tackling or adding to my pile of never-ending stress, I guess, if you want to call it like that. I don't call it like that. I am going to start teaching 2 new classes, so I got an additional job that I'm teaching 2 classes of this particular class, and everything it's like everything has to move fast because she's going to send me the offer letter. I'm going to reply to it and be like, yes, I accept. HR has to do this whole thing.
we gotta like do this whole plethora of mountain of things because of the fact that the class starts on the 18th and it's currently the 1st. So in 17 days the class starts. So it's kind of like they need to like jumpstart this whole endeavor. So it's like holy damn. So there's that. Technically speaking, I have technical writing or technological writing class later today, but I'm not sure if I want to go. And then like it's at 6 o'clock. I have like 2 hours to like think about it. But yeah, I'm just like, ah, brother. And so I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to see what's up, but honestly, it doesn't really seem very cash money, but whatever. Right now, I made myself some food. I made myself some pasta, like a pasta with ground beef or whatever, and cheese, and it looks pretty appetizing. Not gonna lie. So update. It is currently 4:48 p.m. and apparently I'm gonna go to class. I was not gonna plan to go to class today because I was just like, I have other stuff to do. I have to do the video. I have to do blah 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 blah. But I'm texting Josh, and Josh is being irresponsible, for lack of a better word. And he's like, when are you gonna come over? When are you gonna come to class? And I was like, I wasn't planning to go to class. He's like, you gotta go to class. So I guess I've been positively influenced to go to class. So there is that endeavor. And so I'm prepping to go to class, but I'm not really looking forward to it. I just got my offer letter from Macomb Community College, which is the university that I just got hired from, or the community college that I just got hired from, and I just sent the okay, like I'm down. And initially, it is one class. The offer letter is one class, but the assistant dean, she is going to message or email the dean of the school or whatever, or of the department, and she's going to be like, hey, like I want to give this guy a second class, can I give it to him? And she said that she's probably going to give me the second class. So I'm going to be teaching 2 courses in that university. So I'm teaching 2 courses at Macomb Community College, quote unquote. I'm teaching 3 courses at Oakland Community College, and I'm teaching 1 at Wayne State University. So I don't really know how that's gonna go. I feel like I'm biting more than I can chew, but at the same time, I feel pretty confident about it. I think I can manage it and I can handle it. Assuming that I can't, then I guess we're gonna cry together. The cool thing or the easy thing about this next endeavor that I'm doing with the Macomb Community College is that it's only for 2 months. It starts on the 18th and it ends on like the 15th of December. So I don't know. I don't know how to address it. I did speak to the assistant dean, and she was telling me that I can modify anything and everything that I want. Like I can move it, I can structure it. As long as the SLOs, which are student learning outcomes, are on par with the university, I could do whatever I want. And so I was like, okay, cool. But since I don't really know the class, so I don't really know the curriculum, and it's like so abruptly that I'm getting dropped into this, like I think for now, I'm just gonna chill in the sense of like restructuring the class in general. She said that it's going to be an online course. It's going to be like purely online. I don't have to give class, so it's kind of like they just do discussion boards and stuff like that. And I'm there as a mediator or whatever you want to call it. And so there's that. And she's like, yeah, you can change them because I don't like some of the subjects and whatever. So I changed them so you can do that. And she's like, my recommendation is, so for the first wave of class, like you should like look at them. For the first time that you teach this course, you should just free write it. We already provided you the Canvas shell, we provided you the assignments, we provided you everything. Just use that and see what you like, what you don't like. And the next time you teach it, talk about job stability. The next time you teach it, you can change and do whatever the hell you want. And so I was like, okay, wonderful. So that sounds like the plan, especially because I don't want to be stressing out. Especially because if I still have to go through HR. Once I go through HR, they're gonna give me the approval and they give me my credentials, like my school email, et cetera, my faculty badge, et cetera, et cetera. And since I don't have that right now and I don't know how long that's gonna take, I don't want it. The class starts on the 18th, assuming I get access on like the 10th. That leaves me like 8 days to do a whole like layout. I don't think so. It's not gonna happen. So I'm not gonna stress out about it. I'm just gonna bank on whatever they're providing me and then see how that goes. So now I'm gonna just prep to go to Wayne State. and then I'll figure this out. I guess I'm gonna cry myself. I still gotta do the video. That's what I was doing right now, but then this guy is just being the responsible human being that he is, I guess. So hello, it is currently 8:23 p.m. when we are finally out of our technological communications class. And so as you can see from what I'm gonna insert, or I'm still debating if I'm gonna insert it, but basically speaking, assuming that I do or do not, I'm gonna assume that I do not, we had a debate in class today about the ethics of AI and the implications that AI does and what it entails, and if we use it, we don't use it, if it's better for society, if it's not better for society, etc., etc. And boy, I have figured it out. Well, I mean, I kind of knew this straight out of the hand, that I guess I'm the oddball out. I have very chaotic energy when it comes to this foundation of like beliefs, and I guess I'm the bad guy. On that note, the conversation was very like informative, very dimensional, like it goes this way, it goes that way, and it was cool. I genuinely liked it. I liked the fact that I was like the outside guy. I liked the fact that I was able to disagree with people because I just have very like extremist views on morality and ethics, I guess. And so that was that. And then the funny thing is that since we're in the doctorate, like the PhD for rhetoric and writing or whatever, like majority of the people that are there are like the same people that you see over and over and over again. And because of that, I have one of my cohort people, she goes to my practicum class, which is a class that is like about teaching you how to teach the 1020 class and so on and forth. And so it was funny because in the practicum class, we just had a debate on AI, and we had a debate on ethics, we had a debate on all that jazz. And then the fact that now we go into this technological writing class, and again it's about ethics and about right or wrong and about this and that. And then the fact that me and her look at each other in the eyes and we just start laughing because we just had this whole endeavor happen was wonderful. It was kind of funny. And so I guess AI is a hot topic right now. Oh, I mean, it's been a hot topic, but for Wayne State University, I guess, or for our classes. And so, yeah, it was really nice. It was really cool. I got to see different perspectives, but then I guess I'm like dying on the hill that I'm like mounting or whatever, I'm gonna die on this hill or whatever of my mentality, because it's just how it is, in my opinion. And so now we're on our way to the parking lot, or we are in the parking lot now, and we're gonna go home. So update, now it is officially Thursday, October 2nd. It is currently 12:01 in the morning, but the reason why I'm vlogging is not necessarily to give the update, is the fact that I'm still editing this stupid video because I've been procrastinating. I'm gonna try to edit it right now. I'm gonna try to finish within the hour and a half, hopefully by 2 a.m. and then upload it by then, and be okay with that. Hello, so today is Thursday, October 2nd. I know I already technically did that in the morning, and we just got done teaching at Wayne State University, and now I'm in my car. So this is my crash out right now. Earlier today, since technically Thursdays are my more longest days, I guess, today in the morning I woke up, I prepped myself. Last night I cooked some pasta. I don't even know if I showed that pasta. I don't think I did, but I cooked pasta and I ended up putting it in the fridge. Today in the morning I woke up, I put extra pasta in a Tupperware because I was going to come to work and I was going to be here all day and blah blah blah, and and that was going to be my lunch and whatever. Tell me why I leave my house and I drive to Wayne, and then I realized that I did not bring my little lunch bag, and I was just like, so I have the time right now. I'm going to drive back home and I am going to go pick up my lunchbox so I can have food. On that note, I am going to also drive to Oakland Community College and then go eat there and situate myself and blah blah. I ended up
presenting the idea to my class for Wayne that they have to do a Bad Bunny video if they want extra credit and blah blah, and they are going for it. Apparently, some students are actually excited to do it, and some students found it funny and that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they end up posting it. But I don't know. Seems pretty cool. So let me go do that. Today's a long day, and I'm gonna see what's up. But I'm already tired. I want to go home. So, update. It is currently 3:40 p.m. and I am now in my Oakland Community College classroom. I don't think anybody. I mean, hopefully, I teach at 5, and it's 3:40. Hopefully, there's like nobody in between that uses this class, but I don't think so. Hopefully, because this is gonna be awkward. Anyhow, I am here. I arrived early so I can get some work done as a student and as a teacher. Technically speaking, all my classes for this particular week are going to be easy, or they were easy, because they are all in peer review week. And so what that means is that they are supposed to peer review each other. They're supposed to read each other's papers and give like live feedback on like what's working and what's not working with their paper and blah blah, right? And so that's what's going to happen today in this class as well. And so we are technically going to leave early, very early, give or take. And so there's that. The one thing that's kind of sad. So before I get to that, one of the assignments that I give that I really enjoy, because I get to meet my students beyond just being a student to teacher relationship, I get to meet them as human beings and as people, is that I do a weekly journal. I am pretty sure I have spoken about this in the past, or maybe I have never done so, but my weekly journal consists of two things. You talk to me academically and you talk to me personally. It's like essentially being like a dear journal or dear diary, or like a FaceTime call with your best friend. And so a lot of students, obviously at the beginning, they are kind of recluse because they don't know me, I don't know them, so it's kind of obvious they're not going to like confess their sins in the weekly journal or whatever you want to call it. But the beautiful thing that I like about this is that eventually, like during the course of the semester, they start to open up, they start to feel more comfortable, and they start telling me random stuff, whether it's good or bad or whatever you want to call it. On that note, my Thursday class only meets once every Thursday, and they are like a 4-hour class, and so they have a weekly journal as well. And right now I'm going through them, and majority of them are going through it. And so this is what I mean, because I can adapt my teaching style to kind of empathize with people. And so that's what I mean. Like, obviously, if it was just a teacher to student relationship, I never would have met these people, right? I never would have asked them. I don't care, et cetera, et cetera. But obviously, because I do ask and I get to see beyond the scope of this, a lot of students are being like, hey, like, I'm really stressing out because, like, I feel like I'm behind on my work and et cetera, et cetera. And so that's when I can like read your weekly journal and be like, damn, like people are going through it and I understand that they're stressing out. And so now my intention to come into this class as soon as they come in is that I'm going to be like, hey, like, here's some positive affirmations. Here is some like, I got your back type of scenario. I understand what you're going through, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And maybe I can take off that toll from their shoulders, or that weight from their shoulders. And so hopefully they do appreciate that, and hopefully I can make it easier for them. But it's just really cool to see them from something else besides a student. It's really cool to see how some of them have kids, have some of them have nieces, how they're just single, how they're doing this, they're doing that. And obviously I make a joke out of this and I tell them like, oh, like your weekly journals is me living vicariously through you, because like I don't got time to do anything. Ha ha ha, he he he. And so there's that. But sometimes it is heavy. Sometimes it is heavy, sometimes it is sad, and sometimes you just have to be human and adapt your teaching styles and adapt everything. So there is that. I try to be a comedian in all my classes so I can make people happy, because it's nice, and whether they're laughing at me or they're laughing with me, I don't really care, as long as they're laughing. And so hopefully I can change the vibe a little bit. today, and then also I'm going to present the whole idea of the Bad Bunny extra credit activity, and then maybe they find it funny, maybe they don't. Obviously, they're not forced to do it, but it would be kind of cute, and it would be kind of hilarious. But I just wanted to give that snippet or that inside look into like my teaching pedagogy, because yes, they are. Yes, I am their teacher. I am their professor. Yes, I give them a grade, A, B, C, D, or F, or whatever. Yes, that is the report that the university gives us. That's a report we should technically have, but that doesn't mean that they are not people still, and that doesn't mean that they're not doing something else besides my class. So I want to get to know you, I want to get to understand you, and I want to be able to help you in any way, shape, or form. And the only way that I possibly believe that I could do that for you is if I meet you beyond just being a student or a statistic or something, a body in my classroom. So some people like it, some people probably don't. I don't know, but I like it, so that's all that matters. Why am I telling you about Benito, or why am I telling you about the halftime show, or why am I telling you, bringing this up, period? Yes, it's because I'm Mexican, sure, but also because of the fact that I think it's a beautiful thing, and because of that, I am auctioning this off. If you record yourself singing a Bad Bunny song and you send it in, you will get extra credit.
Do we have to know the lyrics?
No, they have to be in Spanish. It can't just be like, nah, that's cheap. That's a feature. That's not the main one.
Do we have to sing it?
Yes, you have to. You have to put your, like you're singing the halftime show, girl. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me get my announcement out. If you are, you will be, well, you don't have to do anything, right? But the goal is that if you record yourself doing a Bad Bunny song, not a feature, and then you sing it and etc., and you send it to me, you get extra credit.
Si tengo muchas novias, si te pregunto si tengo muchas novias, muchas otras. Me la voy a llevar, me la voy a llevar, me la voy a llevar, me la voy a llevar toda.
I'm bilingual.
Me la voy a llevar toda, salud a la víctima.
Does it have to be the full song?
No, I don't expect you to sing the full song. I expect you to give me like 2 or 3 minutes worth of content, right? Like, and then if it, like, that was like what? That was like 1:42. Give me 2 minutes worth of stuff, like how he did it. I don't care if you sing it fluently. I'm not expecting you to do the halftime show. You ain't Benito, but you're Benito Jr.
Hello, good morning. It is currently Friday, October 3rd, and it is 7:25 a.m. and we are up and at it, just doing some work and actually being productive. I've been awake since, I don't really know. I think I've been awake since like 4 or 5 a.m. and I've been working all this time. I even have like my little snack section and whatnot. I have grapes, and then I have my pasta that I ate, and I have my coffee. This is from Dunkin', but this is from like, I don't even know, like 3 days ago. It's just been sitting in my fridge. So today we had a couple things that I already did, but right now I'm doing something else. The other thing is that technically speaking, today I have a conference or like a meeting with Dr. Ola, which is a recent hire at Wayne State University, and a lot of people have been like pointing a finger at him so I can go meet with him because of he isn't fully emphasizing on generative AI, but he is kind of like dabbling on it. And so because of that, people are like, oh, maybe you might be interested if you talk to him. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I have a meeting with him today at like 3 p.m. I was technically supposed to meet him in his office, but I sent him an email earlier today that said that if I can meet him through Zoom, because apparently, I don't know, like the pest control people, like Orkin, it's going to come to my house and they're going to be in the house and they need to check all the traps for like potential mice. They need to check like all the things for roaches, etc., etc. I don't have that, but I guess the landlord is making sure and taking preemptive measures for that not to happen. So, bless. And so there's that. And so because of that, I can't realistically leave my house. So I told him, like, hey, my bad. But, like, yeah. And so, yeah, there's that. So, update. It is currently 4:23 p.m. And I've done a lot of work as of recently, I guess. I ended up having my meeting. I know that I was talking about this at some point, but I had a meeting with Dr. Ola, for short, and we had a discussion about like trying to talk about who I am and what I am and what I'm doing and what I'm thinking and blah blah and all that fun stuff. And all that to say that he was very interested in having a conversation about me, about my identity, and etc. etc. And then he kind of signed himself up to be like my mentor or my guidance counselor or whatever, if you want to call it. I don't even know what the right word would be. But essentially, he's going to try to guide me through do all these like generative AI stuff and research papers and try to find that identity on that aspect. We are going to be doing like bi-weekly sessions where we meet and talk about these things. And so that was fun. He gave me, because I asked him, I was like, hey, like, what are you currently writing, in the sense of like, what are your ideas and whatnot? And he gave me his 3 like ideas or his 3 articles or whatever that he's currently working on. And they do sound interesting, especially one of them. Like, he gave me 3 and one of them really hit and like I really liked it. But like, I don't know. I'm too new. I'm far too new on the PhD world to not know the etiquette of it. Like, I don't know the etiquette of how this whole like life is. Like, for example, how easy is it to like be a second author or a third or fourth or fifth or whatever it is, and then how many authors can be in the thing, and like, do people accept just having random people in their journals, or do you just want to be a solo author because it's more better looking for you or prestigious for you? Like, how does that work? Like, can I just go around and ask like a million teachers like, hey, can I be your 5th author on your thing, or no? Because first and foremost, I am way too brand new to the system and I'm the stupid little child, or no, because like it devalues their journal or their research because you have a newbie or because you have a lot of authors or what. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking, or I kind of want to, because I was in my back of my head, I was like, oh, I would like to be a PhD researcher or like an author or like whatever in that particular article. But obviously I wasn't going to ask that because like he doesn't owe me anything, and like, like, I don't know how this works. I don't know what the etiquette is. I don't know. And then also I'm assuming that he's not a solo author and he already has other people in that journal, like he would have to ask those people. Like, I don't know. And so there was that. But I would honestly like to like work on somebody else's stuff because it gives me like the guidance that I need, and like I can work with them while also learning the ropes, kind of having like somebody put me under their wing type of aesthetic. So there is that. But I didn't ask that. So in 2 weeks, we are going to meet. I am going to jot down a variation of ideas that I might possibly have for him to just look through and kind of be like, oh, this one looks cool or whatever, etc., etc. And supposedly, we're going to work with each other and he's going to guide me in order for me to try to publish my first like article by the end of the year of, not this year, but like next year, or like the beginning of next year, to try to publish something. And so, hello, good morning. Today is Saturday, October 4th, I believe. Yeah, and it's currently 7:33 a.m. I woke up early in the morning for a couple reasons. One, yesterday I did a lot, right? And so one of the things that I did was, in my composition theory class, we have to read on the weekly basis. And this week it was like 5 readings. I managed to do all 5 readings yesterday, which was pretty cool. But I haven't done the whole discussion board. I guess I'm gonna do that today. But realistically speaking, one of the things that happened yesterday, and I don't know if I said it or anything, but I met with Dr. Ola, and we discussed about how we want to get me going, because of the fact that I don't know, like I don't know how to relax, and because of that I want to do everything and conquer the world and do A, B, and C when I should barely be an A or whatever. And so when on that note, I am going to look at my little paper. It looks like this much. It's like 23 pages long or whatever of all the stuff that I had vomited into this Google Doc. And so I'm trying to figure out my identity, trying to figure out what I want to do in general. And so on that note, I'm going to be doing that for today. Hello, so it is currently like around 4:10 p.m. and right now we're going through like a roller coaster, I think. So for the past, I don't even know at this point, like an hour and a half or 2 hours I've been cooking. And now I'm just prep cooking at this point, but my meal is this. It is I don't even know what you would call this. I literally just invent stuff and throw things in the pot and then pray that it comes out good. So there is that. It's chicken with cherry tomatoes, all the colors of the bell pepper family, and steamed broccoli, onion, etc., etc. But the base layer is mashed potatoes, and so it actually came out kind of good. I ended up leaving the skin of the potatoes so I can have like something crunchy in the mix, and that was the best decision in my life. And so right now I'm steaming or boiling the rest of the potatoes that I had, because if not, then I don't know what I'm gonna do, throw them away. I'm cooking the remainder of the chicken, and I'm cooking the remainder of the vegetables so I can like meal prep this for the future. Yeah, but look, it's like a cluster of a mess right now. And potatoes, that is chicken, nothing but chicken, separated from everything because, you know, salmonella. And then that's the veggies, and that's my bowl. That's gonna be the other bowl for the remainder of the potatoes. But it's a mess. Look at all that. I'm gonna have to clean all this, which is, it's okay. I'm pretty clean on that aspect, but I'm gonna have to wait for it to cool off and whatever you want to call it. Other than that, pretty whatever day, to be honest. Okay, bye. So update, it is currently 7:40 p.m. and earlier today, first and foremost, like a week ago or give or take, I saw a TikTok video of like some lady that like specializes on couponing or whatever, and she talked about how at Dollar General there was a deal where you get like, I don't know, like 60 cans of soda for like $20. And so I kept that in the back of my mind and I was like, whatever. And then right now when I was lounging around, I remembered that and I was like, oh, let me go to Dollar General real quick. I don't think we have a Dollar General in California, or like in San Diego at least. We have like Dollar Tree and all that other stuff, but not a Dollar General. So I went to Dollar General and I did get the soda. I got 2 of Coca-Cola, 1 of Sprite, 1 of Mountain Dew, and then I already put more Mountain Dew in there. And so there's that. And I got it for like $20, so I'm pretty excited. I don't drink soda that much, but you know, it's still a deal. Also, I have heard that there was going to be a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Oreo collaboration, and so I bought that too. So pretty excited about that one too. Actually, let's try it while I'm here. Let me open it real quick. This gotta be good, right? Oh, it smells good. Let's see. Oh yeah. That's good. All right, this one is gonna go into the freezer, and then we're gonna eat it when it's frozen, because we all know that I'm dying. We all know that Oreos frozen are like the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups frozen are like the best thing ever. So that's a bang.
Assuming that there is nothing else in this corresponding video, then I have to do the following. So for those of you that are new here, my name is Manuel Gonzalez. I am a recent PhD student here in Detroit, Michigan's Wayne State University. My whole department is in the English department within rhetoric and writing, or rhetoric and composition side. I am in the science and technology subgenre, and I am going to be emphasizing in generative AI in post-secondary education, so community college and university level stuff. And like I said, if you're new here, my whole YouTube channel is to teach you and show you and bring you into my weekly life of what a PhD student goes through, what the ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights, and all that shebang. If you're new here, welcome. Hopefully you enjoy the channel. Hopefully you stay. For those of you that are still with me, and for those of you that have been with me, thank you. Hopefully you're enjoying the content. Hopefully you're enjoying the road to get to the PhD side of things. But that is it for this week. So for those of you watching, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.